What is going on, YouTube family? It is Sierra Nicole, and we are back here with another video. My channel is all about marketing, personal branding, everything that you need to know about social media as a professional and entrepreneur. And one thing that I absolutely love to do is to read a book. Okay. As you can see behind me, that's not even all the books that I have. I just love reading. And one of my favorite books that I love to recommend, this book, I can say truthfully and honestly, this book has played a huge role in the way that I create content and my ability to consistently create viral content that gains a lot of traction. And it's because of this book right here, Contagious. This book is like a textbook and it's very small. This is a textbook for marketing. So if you're interested in marketing, buyer psychology, or you just want to know how you can make your content go viral, then Contagious: How to Build Word of Mouth in the Digital Age by Jonah Berger is something that you need to tap into, which is why in this video, I am going to break down the six principles that Jonah Berger talks about in this book and how you can incorporate that into your own brand to get the same results as many of these popular brands that he talks about in his research, type of results that they were able to get. So to talk about Jonah Berger a little bit, who's the author, he is a professor at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. This book showcases his research that he did about social influence and consumer behavior. He has helped countless companies achieve that virality with their business. And so those key lessons are here in the book Contagious. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the first principle is going to be social currency. All right. So people share things that make them look good. That's just our human nature. It's all about making people feel like they are exclusive insiders to our brand. And in the book, Berger says people talk about things that make them look good to others. So, how can you make your customers feel like insiders? This is extremely important. And companies who do this well are the ones that have people lined up around the corner of their building wanting to buy their products, right? So think about exclusive clubs or behind the scenes content, right? Like when people feel like they have insider knowledge, they are more likely to share it because it boosts their social status in society. So when you feel like you're a part of that elite club, right? It boosts your status. It does. It makes you the popular kid in school. So anything that helps your customers have that feeling is very important. So think about like what's something exclusive or behind the scenes that you would love to have access to. Jonah Berger also talks about that giving people that social currency involves making them feel very special and valued. And so he gave the example of American Express. So you guys know the black card, right? For American Express, that is an invite only card. So that immediately gives those card holders a sense of exclusivity and status, right? It gives you something to be proud of, to talk about to others, to tell people, hey, I have this black card. I'm special, right? So it makes you want to become an American Express user because they know that, hey, if I have the opportunity to get this black card, people know how hard it is to get, and they know that not everybody gets invited. That automatically puts me up on a higher pedestal. So that is a reason that people would choose American Express over someone else. The second principle that we're going to talk about from the book Contagious are going to be triggers. Okay, the principle of triggers. So triggers are cues that remind people of your product or idea. So in the book, Jonah Berger explains that top of mind, tip of tongue, right? So the more often people think about your product, the more often they will talk about it. This is really important, especially with word of mouth. So an example that he gave in the book was Kit Kat. Okay. So I don't know if you remember those old Kit Kat commercials, but they associated themselves with coffee breaks, right? Give me a break of that Kit Kat bar. You guys remember that? So every time someone takes a coffee break at work or in the middle of their day, they're going to think about having a Kit Kat. This was extremely clever and is something that everyone that I know, at least in my generation and older, you guys remember those commercials and those ads. In the book, he also talks about how triggers can be something that works over time. So, for example, Geico. You guys remember those hump day commercials, a hump day, right? The hump day commercial became like this cultural phenomenon because it was tied to Wednesdays. So every Wednesday, people would think about the Geico ad and they'll share it, and it keeps the ad alive and it keeps it top of mind. People still say hump day to this day, and I haven't seen a Geico commercial in I don't know how long, right? But it's a part of our just modern day pop culture now. So those triggers is tying your product and service to something that is a norm in someone's everyday life, like a day of the week or something that's normal, like the coffee break or a lunch break. How can you incorporate your products and services or your brand and tie that into something that will trigger somebody in their everyday life? The third principle is emotion, right? So when we care, we share. That's what he says in the book. He said Jonah also says that emotional content often goes viral because it evokes strong feelings. I mean, and you know that, right? Like things that have strong emotions that are either very sad or very happy. Like cute videos of kittens go viral every single day, or sad videos, videos that make you cry, videos that make you extremely angry. You're going to want to share that with other people, and that creates that virality, right? Think about those ads. What was it? I can't remember, the ones with the animals, right? And they want you to donate the money. They have this, the eyes of the angel, like the song playing with the sad pictures and videos of the cats and dogs. That was very emotional. It was something that people constantly talked about, constantly shared. And it's something that a lot of people remember as just being a very influential commercial and ad because of that, because of that factor. The book also talks about how Berger identifies that high arousal of emotions such as like awe, excitement, amusement, anger, and anxiety are key drivers of sharing a piece of content online. So a study he referenced in the book shows that articles in the New York Times that evoke awe, such as like articles about space and nature, are more likely to be shared. Okay. And so the key is to create content that stirs emotions that are strong enough that get people to want to share that with their friends and family. So it's going to be a domino effect, right? So if someone shares it with 5 people, then they're going to, each of those 5 people are going to share it with another 5 people. And it just continues to domino and continuously shares. So that is the best way. Like if you want that word of mouth, having an ad or a piece of content that is going to evoke emotion is key. The fourth principle that Jonah Berger talks about in Contagious is going to be public, right? So if something is built to show, it is built to grow. That's what he says. He also says that making things more observable makes them easier to imitate, which makes it more likely to become popular. All right. So, example, Apple's logo on like their MacBooks is a perfect example of this. It's visible when people use their laptops in public places, right? So you see the Apple on the back of the laptop. Everyone can see it, everyone's going to recognize it. So that makes the brand very noticeable, right? You know when someone's using that Apple laptop versus a laptop that has maybe no logo on the front of it. This concept of social proof plays a really big role here. Berger talks about how seeing others use a product makes it more desirable. So when you see someone else have something, you think, oh, they have that. I see all these people having it. I got to have it too. It's like that FOMO, that fear of missing out. You see people with a certain item, you're going to want that for yourself, right? So this is why movements like the Live Strong wristbands were so popular. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was like the yellow wristbands. It said Live Strong. Those were very successful because it was very visible, very public sign of support for a cause that other people can easily emulate, right? So that's really key, is having something that is public, something that somebody can wear, a wristband, a hat or shirt, something that's very recognizable to your brand as well. So when other people see somebody with it, they'll say, hey, I want to get involved. I see all these people having these headphones or this shirt. I want to have that too. The fifth principle that Jonah Berger talks about in Contagious is going to be practical value. This is actually one of my favorite categories, but people like to pass along useful information that is going to help others. So in the book, Jonah Berger says that people share practical, useful information. Period, right? So when you see a tip, a DIY trick, a tutorial, a life hack, like I see life hacks go viral all the time on TikTok, because when you see something, you're like, wow, this is very helpful. I'm going to send this to all my friends and family because it's going to be helpful for them too. DIY tutorials get shared all the time because they provide that practical value. Okay, they're going to save it, they're going to share it, they're going to like it, they're going to do all the things because it's a piece of information that's going to potentially improve someone's life. So it's really important to have that practical value in some of your content. Now, Berger also discusses how practical value can also be about deals and discounts, right? So people love sharing when they've gotten a great deal on something because it makes them look like they're useful or they're in the know, right? So remember the website Groupon. I don't even know if people still use Groupon, but it used to be a really big thing. Groupon thrived on that principle because they were offering significant discounts that other people were eager to share. I've seen videos go viral all the time of people going into stores saying, hey, they have this deal, or hey, here's how to shop this XYZ on a budget. It makes them come off as just very resourceful, very useful. So finding a way to incorporate just practical value in some pieces of your content is going to be a great way to help with that virality because it's just so easy to share. That shareability factor is on 10, right? When it's something that is just useful information. Now, last but not least, the final principle is going to be stories, storytelling. So people love when people tell stories, right? We don't just want people to share information. We want people to tell stories. Berger explains in the book that stories are vessels, vessels that carry information that people want to share, right? Storytelling is how we easily receive information from each other. And a lot of you do storytelling on a daily basis and you don't even realize it. In the book, he gives the example of Tom's shoes, right? The Toms. I don't know if you guys remember those shoes. Now, this is just a side note. I used to be obsessed with those shoes. And I remember as a kid, one Christmas, I asked for like nothing but Toms. And I ended up getting like 10 or 15 pair of like every color of Tom's shoes. Don't ask me why. I don't know. But remember Tom's, right? So they have their one-to-one model is basically a story that people share, right? So their story was that every time you buy a shoe, someone else, and I believe it was maybe a third world country, they will also get a pair of shoes every time you bought a shoe. So their whole mission was very memorable and very contagious because their story was incorporated in the way that we bought from them as a consumer. Extremely powerful. In the book, he also emphasizes that stories need to be engaging and contain valuable information in order to be shared, right? So it can't just be a story that's only entertaining, but it also needs to have some type of value. A good story not only conveys that message, but it entertains and it also makes it just very easy to pass along. So it needs to be valuable, it needs to be entertaining. The idea is that you embed your message within a narrative that people actually want to share with others. So, guys, there you have it. Those are the top lessons that come out of the book Contagious. Like I said, this is an amazing book. I definitely highly recommend picking it up if you want to learn more about marketing and buyer psychology. Like I said, it's a very short read, very practical read, and it's a great way to just like actually consume this information and be able to put it into action because of the way that it's just laid out, just straight to the point. And I absolutely love that. These principles will hopefully help make your content and your products and your business a lot more shareable so that you can benefit from the word of mouth. And now in today's world, word of mouth is like going viral and people sharing things online. That can grow your brand and business exponentially, right? So there's so much opportunity. And I really hope that you found this video helpful. If you'd like me to do these like book summaries more often, I have a ton of them that I can do. So let me know if this is something that you enjoy. It's a new type of style video that I'm doing, but I wanted to test it out. There's so much information and value that you can get from books. And I understand that not everybody has the time to just sit and read books all day. So I wanted to sum this up in a short video so that you can take those same principles and apply it to your own brand and business. So if this was interesting to you, let me know in the comments, hit that thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already so that you can tap into more content like this. But in the meantime, I appreciate you for being here and watching this video. Share it with a friend who you think will find it helpful. Again, this is Sierra Nicole, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next video.